In an interview with the AP, Attorney General Bill Barr said he has not uncovered evidence of widespread voter fraud that would change the outcome of the election. He went on to say there's a growing tendency to use the criminal justice system as a sort of default fix-all, and people don't like something. When people don't like something, they want the Department of Justice to come in and investigate it. For more, let's bring in ABC's political director, Rick Klein, and White House reporter Karen Travers. Rick, this statement by Barr presumably is not going to make the president happy, and it sounds like we just saw Barr go to the White House.
Yeah, Barr is at the White House. The Department of Justice says it's for a previously scheduled meeting, but the Trump legal team has just responded and saying, with all due respect to the Attorney General, basically he doesn't know what he's talking about, that he hasn't done a full and thorough investigation. Of course, though, Diane, that's not true. There have been thorough investigations inside and outside the Department of Justice. Attorney General Barr alluded to this. We've also had 30-some-odd courts side with the defendants against the plaintiffs, where the Trump legal team has been making just absolutely unfounded, unsubstantiated, inaccurate, and it's often wildly contradictory and downright misleading claims. Nothing has been produced by any evidence to suggest that there is anything that could overturn this election. And now the Attorney General is putting his stamp on that side of the ledger as well, saying his team has looked into it. They haven't found anything either.
Nothing there, no evidence there. The courts and now even loyal Bill Barr. Well, let's go back to the Hill. Group of bipartisan lawmakers have proposed a $908 billion COVID relief bill. That's been hung up for months today. It focuses on state and local aid, unemployment insurance, and small business loans. So, Karen, how soon do you think a deal could actually get done here?
Yeah, Terry, it's a bipartisan compromise, but it's a long shot compromise. This is splitting the difference in the numbers that the Democrats and Republicans have been stuck on. And Terry, negotiations have been stalled for months on Capitol Hill. But the clock is ticking, and it's not clear that this compromise bill could go anywhere because it's still about $500 billion more than what Republican leadership is looking for. Now, right now, the House has only 7 working days left before the holiday break. They've got a lot to do. They've got to potentially do a COVID relief package. They also have to do a government funding bill to prevent a government shutdown and a defense spending bill. So all of that has to get done in the next couple of weeks. We'll see if this can get across the finish line, but the timing is very tight. And for now, everybody is holding back from saying with any confidence that this could be the bill that they actually can move forward with.
And Rick, Biden also urged Congress to work together on another relief bill once he takes office. What are the chances of that happening, and will that affect the current negotiations?
Yeah, it's interesting. Joe Biden's saying he needs to see action in Congress now, but he's acknowledging that there won't be anything near the kind of action that he thinks will be appropriate. No one thinks that this would be the last action or would have to be, but of course he's going to take a much different tack than the current administration and possibly the current Congress. And it's going to be a deeply divided Congress that he inherits, a very small and narrowed House majority, and the Senate majority is still up for grabs. That won't be determined for a few more weeks after that Georgia runoff first week in January. But he's sending a clear message with the team he's surrounding himself with, that more spending is going to be necessary. The progressive side of his party, very happy with some of the picks. A lot of them are just, I think, just meant to exude confidence more than anything else. But Biden is making clear there's going to have to be pretty fast action, and that probably the first item on his agenda is going to be COVID relief / economic relief. When you look at things like vaccine development, aid to states, unemployment insurance, all of those things are very much on the table in numbers that are larger than the current Congress is talking about. So even if Congress somehow gets together in those last 7 working days that Karen referenced, the Biden team trying to signal that that will not be the last action.
More to come on that. Well, back in the election, all 6 states that the Trump campaign has challenged have now certified that Joe Biden won those states and thus the presidency. But President Trump, he's still railing against the Republican governors of Georgia and Arizona for not doing more to help him overturn those results. So, Karen, you know, it's finished in the courts. Even his own Justice Department can't find any evidence. But is there any worry that this could hurt Republicans, especially with those 2 Georgia runoffs for Senate seats coming up?
Yeah, Terry, there are big worries among Republicans that the president keeping up this drumbeat of baseless, without evidence conspiracy theories that the election was rigged is certainly going to have the potential to dampen turnout down in Georgia in January. Republicans I'm talking to say, you know, if you keep saying for weeks that an election is rigged, you should not be surprised that your own team, your supporters are going to say, well, why should I even bother showing up if this is all predetermined? In fact, the RNC chairwoman over the weekend was asked just that by a voter. her, and she said, it's not decided. No, please come turn out and support our candidates down there. But this should not be a surprise, given what the president has been saying. And Terry, the president is going down to Georgia this weekend. He says he's going to hold a rally on Saturday. Ostensibly, this is to get people to come out in that runoff race and support David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. But as you know, these events tend to be all about Donald Trump and the Trump show. So I think we should expect in his first big campaign-style appearance since Election Day that the president will be airing a lot of his own grievances, and maybe that will outweigh the rev-up supporter message that Georgia Republicans would like from him.
And Rick, piggybacking off that, do you think election fraud could become a kind of loyalty test for the GOP?
I think vis-a-vis this election, yes, if Donald Trump has anything to do with it. He's made clear that his loyalty to Trump, even more than a loyalty to a particular policy issue, is the most important quality. And I think it's striking to see what he has said about Governor Kemp in Georgia and Governor Ducey in Arizona. These are loyalists. These are not the typical Republican governors that we see criticize the president from time to time. These are not squishy moderates. They are people very much on the Trump train. And for the president now to say that both of them are being disloyal, essentially because they're doing their jobs, is quite striking. And again, we're struck by the lack of Republicans who are pushing back on that notion. Still so many Republican senators refusing to acknowledge that Joe Biden is the president-elect, and continuing with it a fantasy, and it is a fantasy, that President Trump has some kind of a legal avenue or some kind of a legal claim. And when governors, secretaries of state say as much, they're getting cut down by President Trump. So yes, loyalty to Trump remains the most important quality in terms of his scorecard.
Absolutely. Rick Klein, Karen Travers covering the waterfront for us. Thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.